So, welcome everybody to this ODI event to discuss the paper Rules of the Range. Just like to welcome, I think there's a fairly significant online audience who are able to join us remotely. So welcome to them too. Just for the benefit of those who are here, I have to go through some of the housekeeping issues. Just to say I'm John Plastow from CARE UK. So just to say, if there's a fire alarm, we have to go out the way we came in, onto Westminster Bridge Road. For those who can't wait, the ladies' toilets are just out there, and the gents are down to the right. Can I remind you, as I've just done, to close off that infernal machine, please. So yes, if you have drinks, can you consume them in the room and dispose of them in the room? I think, have I forgotten anything? Just to say that there will be a record, I believe, of this meeting. So it's being recorded, and that will be made available on the ODI website within 48 hours. So the process today is we're going to hear two speakers who I'll introduce in a moment, and then we're going to have a discussant. That should last about 45 minutes, and then we'll have the remaining time, which should be similar, for points from the audience, and if there are points coming from the remote viewers, which we'd actively like to encourage, because we have a system whereby comments from outside can be relayed up here. We'd very much like people, and I understand there's quite a large audience from probably largely in the Horn of Africa, who are participating today. So that would be great. So I'd just like to take the liberty to introduce myself and while I'm here. So I'm the Programme Director from CARE, but I think I'm here partly because I'm very much somebody committed to intelligent and informed programming with pastoral communities, but more particularly because we're a partner in a project with ODI called READ. I won't give you the full long title, but it's essentially a resilience program looking at cross-border issues. And that program was born, I think, out of a frustration a few years ago after one of the more recent droughts about some of the kind of knee-jerk programming that takes place in the Horn of Africa. And I think we entered with support from ECHO into a partnership with ODI, where we sought to take on some of the kind of more fundamental challenges to crisis in the Horn. The READ project has a focus on natural resource management with a lens on cross-border issues, but we very deliberately wanted to enter into that partnership with ODI in the UK to really help us on that journey of looking at some of the more fundamental issues. And this paper is one output that's come out of that partnership, was been going on for the last 3 years or so. So I'm very much looking forward to the discussion on that paper. It's just one of a number that's been produced through this partnership. I myself was in northern Kenya just last week. Obviously there's a lot of noise, as everybody knows, around the crisis in the Horn, but the focus was very much on what's going on the cross-border initiatives that we're partnering on, and which I think will be the focus of discussion today. So I was very excited by what I saw. I think we're going to be talking about these hybrid institutions between government and customary institutions, and I saw something interesting that seemed to be having useful contribution, and I think as CARE we're very much committed to explore whether that's a model that can have wider ramifications. I would like to say that ECHO, as I mentioned, is a partner in this, and ECHO has really kind of stood out, I think, trying to promote learning across a wide number of institutions through a partnership. There's a group called RegLab, which is a learning and advocacy network based out of Nairobi, and so I think today's discussions will feed into that rich conversation that's happening through those partners, supported by ECHO, which we really welcome as a donor that's kind of stuck its neck out to make a commitment to address kind of big issues in drylands of the Horn. So I think that's the theme that Sarah is about to elaborate on through presentation of her paper, Rules of the Range, Natural Resource Management in Kenya, Ethiopia border areas. So just to introduce our three speakers, Sarah is a research officer here at ODI. She's got a master's in development management from LSE, has worked in different organisations, including Islamic Relief Worldwide, and she's for several years been working here at ODI with a particular interest in pastoral livelihoods and drought management, disaster risk reduction and other areas, and she's been associated with this work for several years now. The other two people on the panel, I think for many of us, need no introduction at all. Jeremy Swift, long time and now a fellow at IDS in Sussex, very much one of the gurus of pastoral development in my view, so we're very, very lucky to have him here. Extensive experience ranging from West, East Africa, different parts of Central Asia, and I think currently Wales, isn't it?
Absolutely.
So a fascinating person to talk to about so many aspects of pastoral issues, and you're very welcome. And Jeremy will be elaborating on some of the themes around customary institutions after Sarah's presented. And then our discussion also, somebody who I think many of us know very, very well, John Morton, who's currently Professor of Development Anthropology and the Head of Department of Livelihoods and Institutions at the University of Greenwich, has also been involved for many, many years on issues around pastoral development, drought management, etc. Currently, he is the coordinating lead author on rural areas for Working Group 2, that is Impacts, Adaptation and Vulnerability of the Intergovernmental Panel on Climate Change. A very long series of words, but I think a fascinating and important area of development debate at the moment. So you're very, very welcome too, John. Okay, so if I can pass over to Sarah, who's going to present to us on her paper.